Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Dynamite. First things first, I do want to say that there was travel issues because of the weather, and because of that, I'm sorry to break some of y'all hearts, but we did not have Nick Wayne versus Samoa Joe. I know y'all wanted to see it. I know how bad y'all wanted to see it, but due to the weather, they weren't able to make it, so it didn't happen. So y'all suffer with that another time. Now, we do start off with our bruv, William Ospreay, and Lord have mercy, Kenny Omega, oh my God. Basically, it's a face-to-face thing of them talking about, how they feel about each other. Bruv was like, oh, I'm happy you're not dead. And long story short, Kenny said that he never thought that William was better than him. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for him getting sick, nobody would have had the time to look up who the fuck Will Ospreay was. And that I guess he should be thanking him for that. Now, while they're talking about their issues, here comes Uncle Don, who comes out, barely gets a word in, and Kenny goes on to attack him. But obviously, Uncle Don is not alone. He has the whole crew with him. Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Brian Cage, Lance Archer, all these guys who were getting TV time all of a sudden, are here. This, I would say this was about 15 minutes, maybe, something like that, where they was just literally brawling throughout the crowd, brawling back in the back where the merch table is at and everything. And honestly, at first, I was like, I don't know. But it actually turned out to be something fun where even the crowd was really into it. And they were making a lot of noise. And the energy in that room was really great. It was another smaller venue and it looked great. Not too similar to the one that they were in last week, but it kind of reminds me of it. And I was just like, it looks better when you guys are filling up these smaller venues and you can just see everybody's having a great time enjoying this. So they end up taking the fight back out into the crowd again, where William, he ended up climbing up some wall like Spider-Man. And then we had Kenny who climbed up some metal thing, I think that hold the lights or some shit. And they both did moonsaults from the top onto Don Callis' family. And the crowd was just absolutely eating it up. You could tell they were having a great time. And I loved it. Long story short, though, since this is 15 minutes, Kenny Omega ends up saying that he and William, they're going to join forces together to go against Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita at the Australia show that they're going to be doing next month. It's not a pay-per-view. It's a AEW special. That's what they said. That's going to be on Saturday. So we'll get those teams going at it. And I think that's a really great idea. The way they opened the show, at first, they didn't sell me on it. But by the time that whole segment was over, I thought it was a really, really great way to open the show. And one of the best openings that they've had in quite some time. The crowd was having a really great time with it. After this, we had Death Riders backstage. Willa Yuta growing out that hair, so you couldn't see his eyes at all. He's also Moxley's back there, and Marina Shafir Pat getting ready for his little matchup and everything. To be honest, I don't know. Moxley is pretty much warning Adam Copeland. He said, Adam fell asleep in 2011 and he just woke up into a world that he doesn't understand, which I did like that part, but something about it is still not where I want it to be. So it could have been a little bit better. Now, surprise, surprise, we started off with the tag championships on the line. Private Party versus Bobby Lashley. MVP on commentary. Something about it, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, why would the Hurt Syndicate lose? But then I thought, we haven't seen much of Private Party with these titles. Maybe somehow they'll give a roll-up or some stupid shit to end up winning and start a feud between these two groups. And that doesn't happen at all because Hurt Syndicate end up taking the win. I could not, it's like I could believe it, but also not at the same time. It was bittersweet. I would say it's bittersweet. So many of us really wanted Private Party to win it. And to begin with, they won it. And unfortunately, with this has nothing to do with Mark or Isaiah. This is literally the company having them win this and not really doing what they should have done with these young guys to make them look like credible champions. They're really young, and this is one of those situations, I don't want to get into a rant about it, where you have your young stars who your future stars are and putting them in a favorable position with these titles. And I don't think AEW had did enough or anything at all really with Private Party with these titles. So I really hope in the near future to get another shot at this. However, we're really, really happy about the Hurt Syndicate end up taking the win here. And as much as they look like champions, they look great. The new merch is really cute and all that stuff. They cannot book the Hurt Syndicate anyway near the way they just did with Private Party, because what's the point? We're just going to give titles to everybody and not really have them looking like champions. So whatever happens here with Hurt Syndicate, I'm hoping this is what the tag division needs so that we can pick things up in this tag division. Congrats to the Hurt Syndicate. Now after this, the Jeff Jarrett thing. Look, personally, I think it's fine that he's going to have his little retirement tour. He's looking to retire. That's not the issue. The issue is finding the right person for him to be feuding with that would get the best out of him. And then obviously that lead up and at some point where he has his last match. And, you know, he's been doing that shit with MJF. And for the first time in a couple of weeks, Jeff Jarrett comes out by himself. No MJF, nothing. And it seems like he is... I was like, I hope they quietly just got rid of that storyline. Now, he does mention MJF, but then he moves on to tell stories to the crowd or whatever. And I was like, this could have been an email, bro. This could have been something you could have posted on Instagram. You don't need to be taking up TV time for this. Now, this went on a little too long, talking about all the memories he had in Tennessee and all that shit. Jeff, you know, we care, but not for this 2 hours that we have on TV. We don't care enough for that. Now, he ends up talking about how he wants to get his hand on the world title, and he wants to get his hands on Moxley. Now, we do have Claudio who comes out there and puts his hands on Uncle Jeff and basically saying, hey, if you want to get your hands on Moxley, you're going to have to go through me first. And that's why I like that. Claudio's a ride or die. You need people like that in your life. And basically, he ends up taking the mic. He threw the microphone at him. Then he picks up the mic and then he throws the thing from the mic into the crowd. Oh, I don't know what the fuck that was about. And then we do have Jeff who ends up picking up the mic and he goes, oh, you think it's going to be so easy? You're going to have to kill me for me not to get this title shot. All right. So you mean to tell me one of the first few matches that Jeff Jarrett is going to have in his little retirement tour is for the world title? Are you kidding me? I thought this was come so much later into the year, since he did confirm a couple of weeks ago that he signed for another year, one more year, and we're already doing this. I don't believe there's any way, shape, or form that he's going to be able to take that title off of Moxley. But he got to beat Claudio first. I think he'll do it. All right. We have Swerve Strickland versus AR Fox, two good-looking chocolate men in the ring. That's all a girl could ever want. That's all I want. Now, I was like, they're going to tear up the house. I didn't see AR Fox taking the win, but this would be great in terms of TV time. Y'all know Swerve and AR Fox are no strangers to each other. They have amazing chemistry with each other. And I think people do like them, either even if they're together or apart, whatever situation is. Now, I will say this. We did see Ricochet coming into the building or whatever. I think it was during the match, maybe right before the match. And then at some point, Ricochet actually makes his ass out there with the scissors to hurt Swerve. Now, Prince Nana, he's a ride or die as well. He's ready for whatever. He takes a lead pipe and he literally ends up chasing Ricochet out, pretty much like Tom and Jerry or whatever, to the back. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Now, this was an opportunity for AR Fox because Swerve was distracted with all the shenanigans and he tries to get the W from this. But Swerve wakes his ass up, and after a house call, nobody picked up the phone, and AR Fox end up taking the L, which we knew. They end up actually shaking hands after the match, and things seems to be okay. Not for it on, because on the big screen, here is a Ricochet with them psycho-ass glasses back there with Prince Nana. Prince Nana is all snatched up. And at first, I was kind of disappointed because I was just like, oh, so Prince Nana is not bleeding, no scratch, no nothing. In terms of everything that's happened between Swerve and Ricochet, I figured that he would beat the shit out of Prince Nana, probably have him bleeding or whatever. And honestly, they should have did that to make things a little bit more intense between the two of them. Now, we do end up seeing Swerve going back there to go help. but they don't show anything because obviously Ricochet is gone by that point. After this, Learning Tree came on, and y'all know I'm not sticking around for no Learning Tree. So if you want to know what he said, you're going to have to watch the show. After this, Powerhouse Hobbs also, he took the L the other day, but he's just getting started. And situations like this, it's like you want to believe that, but it's like you literally faced the top guy and you lost. And this is one of those situations where it's just like, well, what do you do with him now that you had him go against the top guy and lost? He even lost against Takeshita, who's holding a mid-card title as well. I can't say that the booking has been favorable for Hobbs, but he's been getting TV time, and I do think that more eyes are on Hobbs and thinking that, hey, he can have a successful career in AEW. So far, while the booking isn't solid, it's just been better than some of the other times that they've given Hobbs a push. Speaking of push, MJF and all that money that they spent to keep his ass in the company, they had to put him on the damn show. For him to waste our time to talk about Jeff Jarrett, I thought this shit was fucking over. I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe it. And y'all know I love me MJF, but this is one of those times where I just like, I'd rather not see you. If you're gonna be out here talking about Jeff, I'd rather not see you. There was some guy who was already in the ring, who was gonna get his ass whooped by Hangman, but MJF ended up getting that little time to come out there and waste our time. Now, we do have Heyman music who hits, and he comes on in there, and MJF don't want that smoke, obviously. And, we get a little bit of a stare down until we do have MJF leaving so that Heyman can have his little squash match. That poor man, whoever he was, they didn't even say his name or nothing. Heyman hit him like once or twice, and it wasn't even a fucking buckshot lariat, and he took the win. Why are we wasting our times? Why are we wasting people's time like this, Tony Khan? Now, for him to have that little stare down with Max, I thought was great. But for you to literally have him in the ring for like 2 moves, I don't care for this at all. After this, we do have Renee Paquette with our CEO. CEO has all her titles on her. She looks fucking amazing. We do have Harley Cameron who interrupts so she can play her little guitar and sing her songs. And CEO don't seem to care at first. But then she's like, you know what? I'm vibing. The music not bad. And she's dancing or whatever. And here comes Harley, who is basically saying, maybe I can go against you at the Australia show. And CEOs just look, I need an opponent, but baby girl, it is not going to be you. Now, look, I agree. I understand that Harley has improved, and I think she is just the cutest thing ever, and I love her personality. She's improved in the ring. However, to go against Mercedes, no. Mercedes does mention that Harley has not yet had 1 win in AEW, and which is interesting because I don't remember that being the case, but if that's what it is, then she actually wouldn't earn any opportunity to go against our girl for the TBS title or any of those titles she's wearing. After this, we have Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart, part 2. Not bad. The commercials are killing me, though. The commercials are killing me. Sometimes I just wish, maybe this might be me being biased or whatever, but sometimes I just wish like the women's matches wouldn't even have fucking commercials. This is the only time we really get a chance to see them on a damn show, and the commercials seem to take a huge chunk out of these matches, especially for the ladies. So for me, it takes the vibe away for the only time we get to see them on in the ring. And for real, there's 2 women's title. We can be seeing more women, especially with no Rampage anymore. We could be seeing more ladies time in the ring for Dynamite and Collision, but that's a whole nother topic for another video. The match is not bad. For me, I didn't care to get a part 2 with these 2. Jamie ends up taking the win, and I have to point this out, that the first time they had a match, Julia won. This time it was Jamie, and then Jamie gets on the mic basically saying that she'll be down to give her a fucking 3rd match, a rubber match, and I was like, are you serious? Are you motherfucking serious? Now look, Jamie Hayter, I think she's been taking the most wins, at least for 2025. Maybe. I think I'm right about that. If that's the case, then that should give her an opportunity to go with maybe CEO, since obviously we do have Toni Storm going against Mariah for the title in Australia. I personally would not mind seeing Jamie Hayter versus our girl Mercedes, preferably in a little bit of a feud. I don't know if we're going to get that, but if we're going based off those little rankings that Tony Khan like to bring out every once in a while out of convenience, then Jamie Hayter will definitely earn an opportunity to go for the TBS title. After this, we do have Swerve, who's cutting a promo on Ricochet. They do have a match in 2 weeks from today at Dynamite. They're going to be in Atlanta. I don't know where they're going to be at next week. But Swerve was like, he don't want to wait until then. He's still going to try to get his hands on Ricochet because poor Prince Nana back there stressed and all shook up after what Ricochet did to him, which was not a damn thing, if you ask me. Now, and just to break our hearts even more, we get this video package from Brody, Buddy, and Julia. They got a little dog with, well, you know what? It's not a little dog. They got like a bulldog or something with them, and they got somewhat of a new look. I don't want to say completely new. Now, while they're talking, they without saying specifically, it seems like as if they've gotten rid of Malachi. Long story short, they've gotten rid of them, and it's just going to be the three of them. And honestly, that broke my heart. And they're basically saying that they don't need any leaders, and that the only thing that they're going to resort to is just violence, which I do appreciate. But Malachi doesn't seem to be in this at all, and honestly, I'm heartbroken. Reason why I say this is because I truly feel that the company did not do what I think they could have done with House of Black. Very interesting faction. I don't know if they're going to be calling themselves House of Black anymore. Whatever the situation is, how they fucked up with House of Black, they can't do it this time with this new little group that they got going on. And I just want to see much better with them. And whatever Malachi is up to, hopefully he finds happiness and what that is. But I am a little bit heartbroken since it's definitely looking like he's not in that anymore. Main event, Adam Copeland, Pac, two beautiful men in the main event. The first thing I thought was, okay, we got like, 20 minutes left. I didn't think we'd actually get 20 minutes with them, but the match actually goes slightly over the top of the hour. So Tony Khan did put the overtime money through. And here's the thing. They have different styles and pacing. And I felt like, and this is why I've been muting commentary, because Excalibur is talking about how Adam Copeland is too fast for Pac and all this stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you watching the same match as I am? The way he's describing it wasn't what I saw in terms of they're trying to put out the obvious difference, but they're trying to make it seem like Adam was just like a million times faster than Pac, which was not the case to me at all. At times, I felt like the pacing was slower in the match because of Adam Copeland. This is one of those things where Adam is bigger and taller, and sometimes those bigger, taller wrestlers against the shorter wrestlers, some moves don't come off cleanly. And this is something that I've said about Claudio Castagnoli. While these wrestlers are really versatile, sometimes these moves just don't come out the way it should, like it would with other wrestlers. While I think that there was some chemistry there, I didn't think it was as strong as it could have been. Either way, they're cute to look at, so I'm cool with that. Adam Copeland ends up taking the win. And as soon as that happened, I'm just like, all right, shenanigans are going to start. Now, here's what ended up happening. Backstage is the Death Riders. They got the Rock and Roll Express and FTR tied up, taped up on chairs. They're hitting them with chairs. They're beating them up, stomping them out and everything. And I'm just like, okay, good. I appreciate this. I'm cool with that. They give Ricky Morton a concerto just for the fuck of it. And then Moxley said, keep your ass right there, Adam. We're coming. And what does Adam do? He stands there and wait. Adam see that all his friends have gotten their ass whooped. Who the fuck is gonna come out and help Adam? Now, Death Riders come out there. They're stomping on Adam, choking him out, doing all these things. And then here is Jay White. Jay White had the nerve to come out there with a jacket and a shirt on. Like, what the hell? Bro, we love you for the abs too. Like, take the clothes off. He comes out there to save Adam Copeland. And that actually does not work. He get his ass whooped too. And then the Death Riders end up leaving. End of the show. I love everybody in the Death Riders group. but it's not enough. It's when you think, for those of you who saw the beginning of the show with what happened with William and Don Callis' family, the crowd seemed, they ate it up. They had fun. They enjoyed it. It was that energy. And then you have the Death Riders thing that's supposed to be the biggest story in the whole company, and everybody just quiet. That guy who sat there in the front dressed up like Sting for the past 2 weeks, that guy looked sad the whole show. After that whole thing with Kenny was over, he just didn't seem like he wanted to be there. And it's just interesting because it's just like, this is supposed to be your biggest storyline. And a lot of people they love y'all, but we're sticking around, but we're not getting the payoff yet. And it's been months. And it just seems like everything is ending the same when it comes to this story. I just don't care for it. I was afraid that Orange Cassidy was going to come back from his little vacation and come out there, but it didn't happen. No one ended up saving Adam and Jay White, so they ended up just pretty much laid out in the ring while Death Riders end up riding out in sunset. I didn't care for this. I didn't care for it. I don't even know why they even paid the overtime money. For what? I don't think that did anything for anybody who ended up seeing that. It was hoping for much more, and they didn't give it. Tony Khan, I'm still with you. I'm still with you. A lot of us are still with you, but this is your biggest storyline. We got to take this to new heights. Absolute new heights. It's just not there yet. But we'll see what ends up happening with that. Tomorrow, Ring of Honor, 100th episode. 100th episode since Tony Khan has bought the company. And I've seen the card. I'm not impressed. But hopefully it'll turn out to be a good show. And you guys know, as usual, I'll have a review on that. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Ring of Honor.